all those small things mattered. And then finally, I got my answers. I started changing and swapping all these foods inside my pantry. And I saw the change in my health like this. Like within 30 days, my bloated stomach was flat.
Wow.
None of the restriction diets, none of the elimination diets, none of the reset worked, but this worked.
Not counting macros and all this stuff.
Don't know, don't care. Doctors just can't read beyond the lab reports, to be very honest, right? And what are the lab reports? Blood sugars, normal. BMI, normal.
Hmm.
Thyroid, normal. But what was that one thing that inside my heart was saying me that this is all wrong, this is all like misaligned, and I need to find my solution somewhere else. You market it, you bring on the narrative, you translate it into the English words and don't give the credit from where the origin is, right? That's what I'm fighting against. And how? By bringing my own people the realization that you need to start practicing your traditions, right? So I would tell all the people who belong to the indigenous cultures to keep practicing.
Sabrosura pa' ti que qué.
Hola, hola. Welcome back to Café con Pam, the bilingual podcast that celebrates the power of our stories, the medicine in our voices, and the magic of reclaiming who we are. Pull up your cafecito. Este episodio es para ti. Yo soy Pam Covarrubias, your host, y el día de hoy we talk about what happens when your body starts speaking a language the doctors cannot translate. And the only thing that actually answers back is your grandmother's kitchen. Pero primero, full transparency, I have to tell you something. I recently became a new dog mom. Thor's still here. He's 13 years old and thriving. He's good, but he needed a sister. And we got Benny. If you follow me on social media, I kind of did like a soft intro, but this time I think it's time she actually hard introduced herself. Benny is 12 months. She is a whole personality. Currently, as I'm recording this, she is in school. So we decided we are sending her to school because she's a big dog. She's a Rottweiler Pibble mix. And I think as big dog owners, we need to be responsible. And so she's in school. Now, back to the episode. This was the first time I recorded a podcast interview with her in the house. And oh my gosh, she was not about it. She had opinions about me being busy, loud opinions. And midway through this conversation, you are going to hear her. You might hear me. We're going to do a good job editing this, but you might even see me leave the frame a little bit if you're watching on YouTube. I handled this as gracefully as I could, and my guest, who is a complete gem, she, during the interview, gave me so much grace, which I'm so grateful for. Pero I wanted you to have the context before we dive into the conversation. And I promise I will do a proper intro to Benny soon. Today's guest came to the US from India. She built a life here and watched her body slowly stop recognizing itself. Her hair started falling out, her skin was breaking out. She was feeling exhausted. And her symptoms were things that doctors kept telling her were normal. She's an engineer by training, so she did what engineers do. She went looking for the data. And what she found was that the answer had been in her roots the whole time. She is a diaspora nutrition practitioner and the founder of Diaspora Nutrition. She's here to give first generation immigrants something the Western wellness industry keeps taking from us: our own food, our wisdom, and our roots. Y bueno, let's welcome Neha Shah. Neha, welcome to Café con Pam.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive into our conversation. There's so much. But
Yeah.
the question we always ask is, what is your heritage?
My heritage is Indian. I belong to Indian civilization, and right now I am living in USA.
And you're an immigrant to the US. So you came already as an adult with a career.
Yeah, so I came along with my husband and a 1 year old kid. So I came for his career actually, not for mine.
Okay.
Yes, yes. And along the way, the life as it was going here in America, I found my own purpose, what I need to do in my life, because I'm an engineer.
Uh huh.
Um, yes, so before I, jumped on the journey of nutrition practitioner,
You had a whole life.
yes, I was always an engineer. I had this logical reasoning mind and coding, expert,
Yeah.
also working with the databases. But I think life demanded something else from me.
Yeah. So you come to Seattle from India. You already have like you're a trained engineer, so you already have your adult career. And but once you're here, you're not necessarily working as an engineer.
No, no. So after my pregnancy, I left my job in the corporate work, and I thought that I'll once again join once I'm, shifting to USA, finding out the work ethics, whatever is called, whatever permissions that we need to have to legally work here. But I didn't feel to go back to the MNC life, to that corporate job once again. I don't know. I think I was never made to work under someone. I really feel that.
I'm so curious to explore that now because as a trained engineer, did you become an engineer because of expectations from family, because you
Um,
wanted to, because
Yeah, no, I did not become engineer because of my family's expectation. It was because of my own intelligence. So I was a science student there, and the one good thing to have a degree was go for an engineering, if
that
not
was
a
a path.
doctor, then an engineer. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was just the path, and I loved the studies, right? The study part of it and everything, but I did not like, and I was very happy when I got into the company also. The company's name is called IBM. So when I got my job, first job into the company, just freshly after, graduating, I was happiest person. My parents were so proud of me. But when I went into the system and I saw how's the system working, I did not like it. Yeah, I did not like, demanding work even after the hours are done,
Yeah.
right? And then demanding, yeah, and there is no like work-life balance. You have to like hustle, prove yourself like that. I
Totally.
don't mind working hard, but for whom am I doing, right? Just for
Mm,
a higher paycheck or a higher authority in the company? I did not like that back with me. I would like to do it on my own terms. Yeah.
totally. So you come so you kinda, like, follow the path of, like, I'm smart, I can, like, have this like, I like numbers, all the things. And so it kinda were led into this career, then found the corporate culture of that's where the expectation comes of, like, overwork, overgive, etcetera, etcetera. But then you start having babies and you're like, "I don't know if I wanna go back to that."
Right.
At that point, you're in the US and you're eating US food.
Yeah.
So, how soon did you figure or how long did it take for your body to tell you, "This ain't it"?
Yes, yes. That's such a great question because it took me like 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because my body was started giving signs and symptoms and everything, right?
Like, there were subtle signs, but 2 years for you to be like, "I can't do this anymore."
Exactly, exactly. I could see the changes. I could see that inflammation rising up in my body without knowing the word inflammation.
Yes.
I could see my body swelling up. I could see cystic acne coming on my face, like the adult acne. I always had some kind of, teenager acne here and there, but it was never so prominent and like full poster face, right? Then my hair was falling. Like I have good Indian genes for my
Yeah.
hair,
Yeah.
but half of the hair I lost.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was terrible, terrible. I had this bald patch coming on, in front of my temples. And I was like crying really, like, what is this? What is going on? And even when I look myself in front of the mirror, I was not happy. Not
Mm,
just like a physical, thing, but I knew this is not my body at all.
totally. Were you fatigued too?
Yeah, I was petite. I was pretty much in good figure. Uh, but I never saw myself in such a pathetic way, not just how I look, but also how I feel.
Mm,
My energy was drowning. I
mm.
had back aches after every other day. And I'm like, what? My kids are so small. I have my whole, young days ahead of me.
Totally.
And I'm already feeling so old.
Wow. Did you seek medical, like Western medicine?
Yeah, but you know what? Doctors just say that your BMI is healthy, so you don't need to worry about
Yeah,
it.
like it's part of like you're fine.
Yes, yes. Or you're just a new mom, you'll just get out
Mhm.
of it.
It's the new mom stress.
Yes.
So, being a trained engineer with like I'm going to stereotype here, thinking that you have a linear like numbers don't lie type of mind, going to the doctors and doctors saying, "Well, it's part of the process." What was it that you were like, "And I don't believe you anymore?"
Oh wow, that's such a great thing. It just pops up all the history back. So I'll tell you, whenever I went to the doctor and I did the blood test and everything, doctors just can't read beyond the lab reports, to be very honest, right? And what are the lab reports? Blood sugars, normal. BMI, normal.
Mhm.
Thyroid, normal. I said, then from where am I getting these symptoms, right? So for skin problem, they will direct me to other doctor, right?
Right.
For stress issues, they will direct me to a therapy. So there are like various other things. So, but what was that one thing that inside my heart was saying me that this is all wrong, this is all like misaligned, and I need to find my solution somewhere else, right? Is where when I started finding the solutions on the internet, right? So from there, you come into this solutions of weight loss problems. The solutions are calories, carbs, proteins, fats tracking, and all those things. I did that, but I never got the sustainable results. I only got the sustainable results from strength training, which was a good thing.
Okay.
Right. But along that, journey of counting the calories or tracking my macros, I found out that my heritage foods doesn't fit into this category.
Mm.
That was my moment that okay, doctors, fine. They're like, I think they have more intellectual things, so they can't even, bring down their brains into our levels and think like that. But what about these people who are talking in regards of calories and carbs and fats and protein, right? Even they cannot fit my, cultural relevance language into the diet. So I have to either mold my food into that way, in such a way that the Western people can understand. I have to disregard it and totally, swap my rice with quinoa, my gluten with oats, my ghee fats with olive oil. So I was like revamping each and everything inside my kitchen.
You were naturally, like, intuitively doing it. Like, "I usually don't eat this. I'm used to this. I'm just gonna swap them."
The solution was that you
Okay.
swap it.
Okay.
So for weight loss, you need to have more protein-rich grains. So don't have carby rice. swap it for the quinoa,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Olive oil is being tested and been researched more than the ghee, which has saturated fats. So don't eat ghee, have more of olive oil. But that was not natural to me.
Mm,
Right? It is not natural to my heritage
totally.
at all, right? Just because you haven't studied well about my heritage foods on the heritage indigenous people doesn't mean that it doesn't work,
Correct.
right?
It reminds me of when I was in college, my best friend had all of these gut issues. And she was like, "Well, I heard about this thing called Whole 30." And she was like, "Would you do it with me?" And I'm like, "Sure." And so the first thing that she took away from me was my tortillas, like my and my tacos. And I was like, and literally I think it's been adjusted and updated, but it's widely known that it's very like anti-food of color type thing because it erases all of our cultural staples. And it was so hard to do. Like I did the 30 days. She did it much longer, but she's a white girl, right? And so like it's to your point 100%. Like I've never been someone who diets, but I did notice it took my body, I would say, I mean, all this little signs, subtle signs, but about maybe 15 years for me to develop the food intolerances. And so, but I'm in San Diego. I go to Mexico all the time.
Right.
And so like what's interesting for me is that when I go to Mexico, I can literally eat whatever I want and it's
Wow.
fine, and then I come
Wow.
back and I eat the same thing and I get like bloated and all the things, but you're going to talk about it. So,
That's exactly what I was also going to say. That's exactly the experience when I go back to India. I can have all my gluten, flatbreads, dairy, fresh milk out from the udder, and nothing happens. So something is wrong here,
yes.
not with the foods that I eat,
Yes.
right? So the solution should not be catered, the solutions should not come from the white mindset. This has to be very much particularly to be said because the West has this tendency to hold the narrative, the power,
Mm,
right? But then I also saw, hey, you are saying all this bad stuffs about rice, about gluten, but then you take our turmeric and do the studies and make it a hero, like turmeric
right.
cure, turmeric pills, right? Then you take our ghee and bring it into your keto diet because keto diet is all about fats. So
Mhm.
now ghee in bulletproof coffee is a hero here.
Right. Right, right.
Mhm. Then you take our ashwagandha and talk about anti-stress effects. I said, then it means this is not the complete picture. Let me go and study nutrition. I found out an institute which is called Institute of Integrative Nutrition, IIN, and there, whatever experts were coming there on the stage to teach us, to share their knowledge, either were farmers or they were female doctors from indigenous communities.
Mm,
And when they were speaking and sharing, I said, this is nothing new. This is nothing new that my mother was practicing
right.
already.
You grew up with that.
I grew up with it. It's just that it was passed down through oral traditions and not via certifications. They were talking about, to check the soil health, to buy local, to buy traditional,
Right.
to eat seasonal. I said all these things were inherently there.
So you were figuring it out, right? You were like, all these people are talking about these like grandiose studies of things that I've been using for generations.
Exactly, exactly. And they were, talking about all the indigenous communities across the world, be it traditional Chinese medicine, be it Ayurveda from Indian subcontinent, be it about African communities, be it about Latino
Yeah.
communities. So that all these time we have been told not to have grains, have this paleo diet, right? Don't have legumes, it just bloats you. No plant foods, go carnivores. But now they have found that rice and beans combination is the OG, like a complete food,
Right.
right? Exactly. But why are we waiting for that validation, first of all?
Yep.
I became a rebellious kind of person that way.
Good. You should.
Yeah.
When you first came to the US, where you're like, all right, we're here. Let me just eat American food. And then that's when things started happening. Because I've also seen you talk about that not all Indian food is created equal here in the
Yes.
US.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so were you kind of like still using your own foods, but not buying them from the right places? How did you figure
Yes.
all of that?
Exactly. So when I, started studying, first the term that I came through was sourcing. That the food sourcing matters, from where you buy the food matters, right? So then I started, kind of going through my pantry and taking out each product, reading it, and trying to see from where it is coming from, even if it is coming from India, but you don't know the farmer behind it,
Right.
right? They are the industrial brands that are, consolidating everything and bringing into a packet.
Mm.
I needed to study that. And also, so many of the foods were not even created traditionally, but they are just, labeling it traditional fats.
Wow.
But they have not made it traditional way.
Oh my, how could they get away from with it?
That's what. So the policies, the food policies are not,
Great.
like the perfect thing in any country. So as a consumer, now it's our job to, make it right, to research, to dig in deep and make it right. So what I found out was, since many, like flowers, the wheat flowers that has been coming, sitting here on the shelf, they are not processed, traditionally. Like they are not milled on a stone grinding machine. They are taking out all the bran and they are making it shelf stable, and then you put it there.
So that's why it makes people sick. It's not the flax, it's all the added stuff.
Exactly, all the added stuff and all what they have already removed stuff.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so back to your journey. So you start developing, like, finally your body's like 2 years in, you're like, "This is too much, I can't deal." Like, you don't recognize who you were before 'cause your body's changed so much, you're reacting to foods, you're raising babies,
Yes.
and so when do you decide, "I'm going to go all in into this nutrition?" What's the catalyst?
Yeah, the catalyst was definitely not getting an answer from any of the doctors,
Mm,
right? And getting this weird advices of counting calories, tracking carbs. It's not
it's so
intuitive way of
exhausting.
eating your food at
Yeah.
all, right? I don't want to be a robot and slave to an app
Yeah, it's a lot of
who
work.
will tell me that how much should I eat, is it okay or not? And okay, these are many steps that you should walk and try to burn off the calories that you have eaten and try to, strike that balance of calories in and calories out. I'm like, who is going to do all these?
Totally.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a so much of effort going on. And my mother, who is the mother of five kids, is extremely fit without doing all these tantrums
Totally.
around food, right? So how do I achieve that? Then that's the time I decided, let me, take it into my own hands. I'll go and study. I'll go and research by myself. And even inside the nutrition studies, what I found was they were not talking anything different that we were doing when we were growing up. That's when then I started to study my own heritage foods,
Okay.
right? And started mapping everything. How can I make it possible in USA? How can I get my authentic traditional foods in the US?
Totally.
So I started, you know, trying to talk and find all the USA farmers who are growing local foods here. Rice is grown here, wheat is grown here, and what not is grown here, even if it is imported, I should know the farmer who is sitting there in that country.
Totally.
I started, contacting all the farmers, or the millers, or the ranchers who can give meat or eggs, or even the dairy farmers, right?
Wow.
Who are doing ethical practices, who are like really taking care of their cow and not, industrially farming the cows, right?
Totally.
So all those small things mattered, and then finally I got my answers. I got started changing and swapping all these foods inside my pantry, and I saw the change in my health like this. Like within 30 days, my bloated stomach was flat.
Wow.
None of the restriction diets, none of the elimination diets, none of the reset worked, but this worked.
Not counting macros and all this stuff.
Don't know, don't care.
That's awesome. So you saw changes in you, and then you were like, I need to do something about this because I'm not the only Indian in the US that migrates here.
Correct, correct. And that was the way, because I thought that let me just give back this to my community, to
Mm.
my culture, to my roots from where I belong. Because the answer was there in my roots,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And and even from the country where I come from, the farmers are the highly respected people,
Mm.
right? Because India has like more of the land is agricultural land. So
Mm.
we know the importance of the farmers who is running this country, who is giving that, income, means bringing the income also to the country.
Totally.
So many things have been exported from our country to all the parts of the world.
Yeah.
Right? So when I see that food is so important, but that is also this country where they use the food against the people.
Mhm.
Wherever you go, you have made ultra processed food so convenient that it's dead difficult to find authentic foods. Like,
Wow.
this is the food environment that I have come into. Like, what is this? And I was amazed and I was angry, but I wanted to use this anger in the right direction,
Mm.
right? Because all the solutions have been catered to bring down our foods, in an inferior lens, where we start questioning our
Yes.
heritage then,
Yes.
right? And then we find this scientific paper, slowly and slowly they are validating all our ancient practices.
I know. Like, for us, it's chocolate. Like, cacao. Like, cacao all
Right?
of a sudden is a superfood. I'm like, I've been drinking and eating that since I was little.
Exactly.
What do you mean it's a superfood?
Exactly. There is no thing as superfood,
Yeah.
right? First of all. And that's what, like, the people in the West have no culture of their own, because either they have demolished all the cultures.
Mm.
So what they do is they go to the other parts of the world and they study, right? So that they study and they print it in their own research paper so that they get the credit.
Mm.
So why do they study Mediterranean diet? Why do they study blue zone diets? Why do they study herbalism?
Right.
Why do they bring this Ayurveda and yoga from Indian subcontinent?
Yes.
Because they don't have their any own. So, but how do they win this battle of narrative? You publish it.
Mm. You market it.
You market it, you bring on the narrative, you translate it into the English words and don't give the credit from where the origin is. Right? That's what I'm fighting against. And how? By bringing my own people the realization that you need to start practicing your traditions.
Is that a common thing? Like, do you often see it with as people migrate, like Indians migrate? It's like forget about your culture, kind of like assimilate in a way.
Yeah, partially they slowly and slowly they create that gap, because in trying to fit into the society, right? uh, Secondly, they also don't have ample of knowledge why we do the way we do.
Mm.
So when someone question you, you are like you don't have any answer, and when you don't have any answer you feel very embarrassed, and
Right.
when you feel very embarrassed you leave it and adopt something else.
Mm.
So the problem here is you need to be well aware about what you do, the way you are, what is the why behind it,
Yes.
right? Because you have to understand that India, for the longest time, our culture was colonized, right? And it takes years to decolonize it.
Mm-hmm.
Our knowledge system was broken down. were burnt, right? So many things have been demolished already. So we don't have perfect answers why we are like this the way we do. Why do we cook this way or why do we practice this certain rituals, right?
Totally.
But now every knowledge is accessible, right? Because now we are also coming out of that colonized mindsets. Now more and more knowledge is getting accessible. You need to study, you need to read. So you need to read your own traditional knowledge system, whether it's nutrition, whether it's science, whether it's arithmetics, anything,
Yeah.
whether it's exercising, anything, because every modern science has its origin from the traditional Indian science. And that's a great thing. So start reading your own. And then
Yes.
you can come here, you can get all the degrees, but you should know your original
The
knowledge also.
foundation, the true foundation.
Yes.
Totally. I think there's so much here. Let's take a quick coffee break and
Sure.
let's keep talking about it. So,
Sabrosura pa' tu que.
do you drink coffee?
I do. I do.
You do.
Yes.
How do you drink your coffee?
I have this, Nescafe coffee powder.
Yes.
Yes, yes. I just add it to my hot milk
Okay.
and whip it really great. And I can't have my coffee without any sugar. So I don't have any black coffee, please. So I have some milk and some sugar, and then that's the way I have my coffee.
All right. And you make that every day or do you have it occasionally?
Very occasionally. We are more like a chai person.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't, are you sure you drink coffee all the time? So your daily beverage is chai.
It's chai.
Okay. Hot or cold? I know the cold thing is not a thing.
Hot.
You're like
Yeah.
how it's supposed to be.
It's how it's supposed to
Yes,
be.
yes.
We don't have cold, icy drinks.
I
No, not at
know.
all.
I know. Tell me about it. I throw fits every time I think about cold brew. So chai, do you like make it from like do you make it a batch or do you mix all the herbs like every
Yeah,
day?
we mix the herbs every day.
Every day?
Yes,
Wow. It's a whole
yes.
ritual.
Yes, it's a whole ritual. Just like cacao ritual is there, just like that chai ritual is there.
How fun. And that what time do you drink that in the morning?
In the morning after the breakfast, and then late afternoons, like maybe 4 o'clock.
Yeah? It has caffeine though, no?
It does.
We're an afternoon chai drinker, huh? I don't know if I could do coffee in the
No,
afternoon.
chai is better than coffee, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't leave you more jittery.
Okay. I mean, I love chai. I just feel like sometimes it like I think because it's black tea, so it kind of has a similar caffeine.
Have it with some milk. That's the problem. Don't have black tea or a black coffee. This phenomenon is carry on. Yes, add milk to it, then you won't feel that jittery.
Oh.
You are having like a more condensed form of
I
shots.
shall try it out, let you know how it goes.
Yeah, sure.
Um, on my end, I'm drinking tea. Like, this is like a regular Awala bottle, but I put my hot tea in it
Okay.
because I don't know if there's, like, tumblers big enough to hold all the things, so I use a cold one for my hot drinks, and I'm drinking the tea that like, I became this when doc Western medicine could not fix anything. I was like, "Well, we're gonna go back to plants." And I studied a ton of plants, and from healing my fibroids in my womb, to my digestion, to clearing my face, plants in my case,
Amazing.
which,
Amazing.
I mean, I think you will attest to this, like, it starts with the gut, all your health.
It does. It does. I mean, it's so fascinating that our grandmothers already knew this.
They knew.
They knew it. They just didn't use the modern language, the jargon of all the scientific words.
Mhm.
But they knew it. In their own algorithm, they knew it.
They knew it. Okay, let's get back to the show. If you've started making your cafecitos at home to get on with that morning routine and build the habit of saving money, it could be a good strategy. Pero there might be an easier way to save. Did you know that if you open a new savings builder account at BMO, you can earn a $5 reward every month you grow your balance by $200 or more during the first year? Learn more about how BMO can help you grow your savings by visiting bmo.com/save. bmo.com/save. Conditions apply. Accounts provided in the United States by BMO Bank and a member FDIC. Do you ever feel like money's supposed to make you feel free, but instead it just makes you feel like a fraud? Like, you should already know this stuff: investing, retirement, debt, but you're still Googling what's a Roth IRA like it's a secret society? Let me unmute that real quick. Savvy Ladies is a nonprofit that gets it, and they're not here to shame you. They're here to support you. They've got a completely free financial helpline where real humans, real experts give you answers without judgment. Whether you're navigating money wounds, dreaming of building wealth, or just trying to make sense of your paycheck, this is your safe space. No sales pitch, no confusing jargon, just real talk, real help for free. Because financial confidence isn't just about numbers. It's about knowing you're not alone anymore. Head over to savvyladies.org to learn more. That is SAVVYLADIES.org. So, Neha, so you're speaking about the algorithm, like the grandmother's wisdom of the remedies and the plants, and like if we really think about the combination of foods, for example, like you talked about rice and beans and how that makes it completely like our ancestors knew the answers, you know? And coming from an engineer mind, as you're going through this process of like, all right, I guess the answer to all the things was in my heritage. How did you reconcile that, like, while we know that it is a science, but, like, not the science that we're used to, like, calling science? How did you reconcile?
Yes, I would like to tell this heritage science, the original science, or maybe the pre-science. Let's call it
Mm.
a pre-science. It's not unscientific. It is pre-scientific.
Yes, yes, yes. It's just not documented the way that we're used to.
Right. But that's the great thing. You asked me that how did I, like reconcile each and everything, right? Because I was continuously coming forward with these research papers who was validating like bits and parts of my heritage,
Yes, but not the whole thing.
not the whole thing. So Indian diet is not good, but rice and beans are good. Turmeric spice in your milk is good, right? Fermented foods are good for your gut.
Right.
We have fermented foods in our own heritage also,
Yes.
right? Then you come with the research paper saying that, oh, you know what? Not all the saturated fats are bad. Ghee is good because ghee has different type of fats. Ghee has this short chain fatty acids that does not get stored as fat. It just
Mm.
your gut bacteria. So ghee is good. So I came across through the uh, validated studies validating my food practices in bits and pieces.
You had to put it together like a puzzle.
Exactly. That's when I realized that am I going to wait for the modern science to validate each and every food practice that I eat? Until then, am I not going to eat anything?
Totally.
Right? So I stopped for the validation now because I was amazed how well are they studying. But the part is that they are not even studying on our bodies.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. You know, I'm going to interrupt real quick because that made me think of when told I was told I had PCOS. And finally, I went to a different doctor and I was like, I was told I had PCOS, but I don't think so. Because I don't have any like the symptoms that people talk about. Like, it's not. And he was like, you know what? PCOS was studied on a Slovakian woman, like a white European woman. And so anytime we see Indian women, Latinas, Middle Eastern that have much more hair,
Correct.
you're immediately diagnosed with PCOS because, like, you just have more hair than the original woman that was studied. So, yes, and that pissed me off so much.
Yes, exactly, right? So half of these studies are not even, culture inclusive, color inclusive, and so many studies were not even done in women first for obesity problems or any other thing. Because we had
Mm,
to fight for that,
yep,
right? And so, so we are not going to wait here and try wait for the modern science to catch up with each and every traditional practice out there in this entire world. Let's reclaim our own root, do our own research, and have that faith that if our ancestors knew something, it was in a good faith, it was in a good part, right? It was not created inside a lab. It was
right,
created in under the nature, under the universal law of nature, right? And that should itself be enough for you. And even today, what are the solutions that we are finding in the name of alternative medicine? This alternative medicine is nothing but the traditional practices, like go and do the grounding. I'm like, we knew,
we've been doing that.
we have been doing that, right? Taking out of a footwears and standing on the grass, going in the garden, playing in the soil. All the developing countries have been doing this,
Yep,
right? Going out in the sun, have that morning sunshine. We have been doing that.
yep,
In fact, in our traditional culture, we have this ritual to pray the God's sun because it gives us life,
yep,
right? We have been doing that. You told us to stay inside because it can burn you off. Our grandparents knew what was the right time to be outside, what was the right time to be inside or to cover yourself,
correct. Yes,
right? Then the third solution as an alternative medicine you have been told is to, have this ginger, have this honey. We knew that.
right.
To strengthen your immunity, we already knew that, right? So I would tell all the people who belong to the indigenous cultures to keep practicing,
Mm,
right? Because we cannot blame each and everything to the West. It's our fault also that we are not practicing it. We are not studying our own scriptures, our own land, where the knowledge is so diverse, so rich. We're not doing that part from ourselves, and we are not doing a great marketing also.
right. It's good. Right. We need to do better marketing.
So you need to do that. We are also skilled people. Let's do the marketing better. Let's build our own narrative and not validate, from the other third party lens.
Yeah. So I have so many like stats that I as I was researching that were wild. So there are anywhere between 5.4 to 5.8 million Indian Americans in the US. They're the second largest foreign born immigrant group in the US after Mexicans. And I'm Mexican, so like we're the two biggest. So now, did you know this when you set your business to be specifically to support your community? Or was it that you were like, I went through this. I'm sure there's a lot of people going through this. How did you make that decision?
The decision was simply I saw how the fitness coaches, the nutritionist, everyone blamed our carb heavy Indian food. Everyone blamed our heritage,
Mm,
our genes.
mm,
But then I also saw the double standard of the Western medicine is that they're taking all the parts of our heritage and yeah, and trying to bring it back. So that's when I thought that no, I need to give it back to my community. I need to go
mm.
back to my roots. Later, when I started researching more, I found out that I'm not the alone person. Even all the immigrants from Africa, from Mexico, from India, from China, they are also facing the same struggles.
Totally.
There is like weight gain issues, there is health decline issues, there are metabolic issues just after months and in near decade of moving, they are at the same risk of disease as the host country.
I know. Because let's see, diabetes prevalence is actually higher in Chennai than among South Asian immigrants in the US. So there was the Masala study. Let me see. Let me go back in my notes. So the Masala study, mediators of atherosclerosis in South Asians living in America. That's what Masala stands for in that case. 29% of them had type 2 diabetes, 37% had prediabetes, meaning only 34% of the people that were studied had normal glucose tolerance, which, I mean, does this change and differ from the food that we eat here?
Yes, yes. Uh, so the food here, like when we say what is sugars,
Mm,
if you ask any person here in the US staying, what are sugars for them? Immediately they will think of donuts, pastries, or sugars in your Coca-Cola,
yes,
cold drinks,
yes,
soda drinks. But that's not what we think. Sugars for us are fruits or the unprocessed cane sugar,
yes,
right? Not the white sugar, the panela sugar that you call,
right,
right? The jaggery that we call,
yes.
right? So that is the sugars for us. You are talking about ultra processed stuff for every other thing. And then you are blaming you should not have any sugars. And then you're
Mm,
creating a confusion that sugars from the fruits is the same like sugars from the, ultra processed junk. No.
yeah.
So that confusion comes when you are bombarded with an ultra processed versions of similar things.
Oof.
No one is cooking from the scratch. Everyone is having packet foods. Everyone is meal prepping and eating those stale foods
For days.
for days. Then how come will you be able to, fight for the well-being of your body?
Yeah,
You can't.
yeah. The longer we live here, the more American we become and the more processed food we eat, which
Exactly.
means that 55% of all calories Americans consume come from ultra processed foods, and kids 1 to 18 years old is 62%.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like,
So
that was wild to me to read.
yes, it is. I mean, so the problem is never the carbs or never the protein or never the lack of fats. No, the problem is the quality of the food first. Address the elephant in the room first.
Yes.
Then you come and talk about the calories or carbs and proteins.
And so, what can people do? Because I'm sure people are listening to this and
Yeah,
thinking, okay, it makes sense. I have been maybe dealing with some body challenges because I think that people don't necessarily have to be immigrants, having had eaten certain foods before and then coming here and changing their diet because it's in your blood, it's in your heritage, correct? And so as people are like hearing us talk and they're like, you know what? All right, I'm ready. How do I get back to my roots? What do you recommend?
definitely. First of all, you should, take a note of the simple recipes from your mother.
Mm,
You should first do that and then find out the authentic ingredients that your mother was talking about here in the US,
yeah.
right? So find the local farmers here. You have the local farmers market. Yeah, you have the co-ops community who supports the local agriculture. So buy from them. Vote with your dollars. Even they are fighting against the ultra processed corrupt food system here in US, right? Because of farmers agriculture land and practices have been decreased over decades in
Yeah.
US,
Yeah.
so they're also fighting for their own rights.
Oof.
because they also value the quality of the food, the soil, the nature, everything.
Yeah.
So vote with your dollars, right? Find out the local farmers, buy the stuff from them, and then cook your mother's recipes here.
From scratchy scratch.
From scratch. And you have so many modern technologies for you to do the work faster, right? You have
Mm.
made to make the dough. You have instant pots to, readily cook anything, right? You have pre-cut veggies sometimes. You can always have that and throw it around. And the practice makes you better. It's
Yes.
just like maths, right? The more you practice with your numbers, the more you better get with your numbers. So the
Totally.
more you practice your cooking, the better and faster you will become and smarter,
Yeah.
right? Today it just takes me like 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening. That's it. I'm not here like in the kitchen all the time
Right.
just to eat healthy. But you need to put out that practice.
And be committed, no, to your health.
But now it's like so easy. The
Mm-hmm.
confusion arises from these, dietary trends that you need to have 30 grams or 35 grams of protein in one meal. So what are you going to do now? So you entirely like switched your mentality and you're buying more things than before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then some other people will say that you should have 30 plants in one week. So are you going to count everything, every spice, every leaf that you add in your cooking?
Yes. Yes.
So just apply your common sense wisdom.
Go back to what grandma would say.
Exactly. It will never fail you, never. And stay active. We all know how great it is to be stay active. We are humans. We are meant to be moving, right?
Yes. Yes.
Stay active. Sleep on time. That's such an underrated, factor that has been ever talked about.
Sleep is a big
Sleep is a
deal.
big deal. You're not in your 20s that it's okay if you sleep late, you're studying more, and you're still fine the next day,
Mm-hmm.
right? So act according to your age. Sleep when it is important. It's definitely okay as a teenager or when you are trying to build your life and you are sleeping less. I understand that phase of life, but that is not permanent. Don't make it as a permanent
Right.
thing.
It's not a thing forever.
Right. So there are solutions. You need to go back, find out the authentic versions in the country that you're living, support the local economy, the local farmers, and you're good to go. It's so simple.
Mm. Tell us all the places and spaces where we can find you.
Sure. So you can find me on Instagram with the handle name Diaspora Nutrition. My website is www.diasporanutrition.com. Feel free to reach out or send me a DM. I'm happy to help you.
Yeah, and you've helped a ton of people, over like thousands of people at this point.
Yeah. Yes. We have like my community is where I, give my services and my coaching. It's like more than 1,000 people already there, and on social media we are more than 70,000 plus members. So I'm blessed to have the support of all the people out there supporting my messaging, supporting my work, and I'm just a medium through which I can do my best, right? I
Mm,
don't say that I own this knowledge. No, this knowledge is from all my heritage that I belong to. I'm just a medium through which I want to convey it.
yes. Last few questions. What is your remedy? So we usually share remedies because I'm all about grandma's recipes.
Of
But
course.
it could be like a remedy that came from grandma. It could be like a thing that you do. It could be like a practice. Whatever you want to share.
Yeah, I would like to mention here, two things actually. First thing is always wash your feet before you sit for a meal.
Wow, that's a very new one.
Yes, and I came to know. So, of course, when we were growing up, our mom used to say that quickly go wash your hands and feet. So, washing hands, everybody knows, right? But washing feet was something, always made me wonder why did she say this? And look, washing your feet actually rekindles your digestive fire.
What?
Yes, it
So
does.
washing just like you wash your hands, literally soap and water, wash your feet.
Yes, because it's preps your body, it rekindles your digestive fire that, hey, Be prepared. I'm sending you the food inside. You need to be active and start ready to digest it.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah, and the second one is very common, which is the combination of dry ginger powder with some honey,
Okay.
right? Raw honey. You just mix it and you lick it like a ginger candy.
Ooh, nice. That sounds so delicious.
Yeah, it is delicious and it really helps with all the mucus thing that goes on inside your nose, inside your throat, especially during the seasonal changes. Like it happens from spring to summer, then
Uh-huh.
it will happen from summer to fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have bees in our backyard. My mom is a beekeeper, and I'm gonna start adding powder. So one thing that actually, because I put honey in my tea and my coffee every day from our local bees, I don't have any allergies.
Exactly, exactly. You know what? You have this seasonal allergies that goes on, the pollen allergy where people sneeze, they have itchy eyes, right? Dry ginger and this raw unpasteurized honey, it just works like wonders. You just do it for 1 week, have 3 times in a day. You're good to go. All your allergies will go away, or people will be like you and me with no allergies whatsoever.
All right, all right, all right. I'm about this. So the other question that I want to ask you is well, first before that, what's next for you? So what are you excited about that we can support you, that you want to talk about? What's next for you and your business?
I'm so much immersed in my children actually, and my kids. They are growing up here, right? So my next thing will be always getting them aware of their own traditional scriptures and heritage so that they don't get lost, especially, growing up here in the West. I want them to be, curious, to question everything.
Yes.
But for answers, don't go for the third party answers, right? Dive
Mm,
deep into the books that you have in our traditional knowledge system, read them, and become experts.
I love that.
Yeah. So my next thing is exactly this.
Okay. And the last question is, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
The legacy I want to leave behind is I want to just be, known as an as a person from rich cultural background. I don't want to
Mm,
be known as an immigrant coming from a middle class Indian family. No. I'm a person who belongs to a rich cultural heritage, whose indigenous people are still living their traditions boldly and proudly, and we are here to reclaim our roots no matter where we live in this world.
yes. So much yes. I love that. Well, Neha, thanks so much for coming to Kafa Kompam and sharing all the things with us. This was awesome. I learned
Thank
a
you so
ton.
much. Thank you so much for
Yes.
having me. It was lovely to have this conversation with you.
Yes, thank you. ¿Qué tal? That was my conversation with Neha. And she said something towards the end of our conversation that I actually enjoyed a lot, which is she doesn't want to be remembered as an immigrant from a middle class Indian family. She wants to be known as a person from a rich cultural heritage whose people are still living their traditions boldly and proudly. Oh, that made my give me so many chills. And she's here to reclaim her roots no matter where in this world she lives. I mean, that's like the remedio of the whole episode, I think. Because how many of us were told by doctors that the diets, by the whole system, that what we brought from our home countries, from the land where we come from, wasn't scientific enough, that it wasn't modern enough? How many of us quietly swapped our abuela's wisdom for someone else's algorithm? And the answer was always in the roots. And your roots are waiting for you to come back to them. If you want to understand what else you've been taught to leave behind, I have a quiz that you can take, Calladita Culture quiz at cafecompam.com/quiz. And it's a free quiz where you can explore the one that has kept you running away from the roots. It will give you language for something you've been carrying without a name. Y volviendo al episodio en Neha, I really enjoyed our conversation. I think, like I mentioned, I've been going back to my plantitas. I'm drinking tea because I'm recording this afternoon. So you already know I can't do coffee afternoon. But truly, the invitation, I think, from this episode, what I got from it was, what is calling you back? What is it that's calling you back home? And listen to that. Y cuéntame, ¿no? Tag us in all the places and spaces. I would love to know. Y bueno, hasta la próxima. Nos vemos prontito. Nos vemos la próxima semana. Y como siempre, sigue brillando. Café con Pam is created con mucho amor by our small but mighty team. Content production by Nancy Jaimes. Podcast management by Maru Linardi. Social media and marketing by Brenda Figueroa. And me, your host, Pam Covarrubias. To keep the cafecito brewing and the healing flowing, join the Supporters Club for only $5 a month and access early episodes, behind-the-scenes vibes, and exclusive minisodes you won't hear anywhere else. Screenshot this episode and tag me and share what resonated. I love seeing your takeaways. Follow on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's keep the conversation going with us on social media at Cafe Con Pan Podcast, because your voice always matters there. We love being on Instagram and Facebook. Gracias for listening to Cafe Con Pan, a Spread Ideas Move People production. For more episodes, guest info, or resources, visit cafeconpam.com. And if you're healing from Calladita culture and don't know where to start, you can take the quiz. cafeconpam.com/quiz for Tia Wisdom and cariño just for you.
Sabrosura pa' ti que